judges, they wanted a criteria for the women. They didn't want them too big, and Beth Francis, she kind of defied that, like she was big, and there was she was muscular, she was a power lifter and all that, and she was more bigger than the women that were competing at that time. And so there was this one lady, a woman judge, didn't like her look, and she thought that it would be like a real upsetting for women's bodybuilding at that time. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is, I think, that was the whole plan of them not wanting the stuff that we see today with the fit model and the bikini. I think that was already planned, but they just didn't know how to go about it. If
The thing is,
if I'm saying,
I think that there are two sides to it. One is trying to not let women get as big as they want to, like trying to be like, okay, we don't want the mass monsters on the women's side, but for men it's okay. And then there is I think the whole fit model thing is not just, it's not necessarily trying to, it might not even have anything to do with trying to keep women small or make the sport on the women's side smaller. I think it's just plain old cash grab, because if you can be competitive on a bodybuilding stage with barely any muscle at all, like if you let like anyone and their mom have that division, then a lot more people are gonna compete and a lot more people gonna pay and people are gonna, I don't know, it's like, it's just, it makes the sport so unbelievably accessible to basically anyone. And I mean, there is money in it. So I think my conspiracy theory is it's just a cash grab. Make set the
could
bar
be
for
that
entry
too.
so low that anyone can come in and give you money, I guess.
It could be
Because
that
I
too.
mean, yeah, it's not bodybuilding to me. I'm sorry if that's a an offensive take, but fit model is not, that is not bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is about visible muscle, and I think in the rules for fit model even said something as no visible muscle, no visible separation, and it's like we're talking about bodybuilding here. Like that is not bodybuilding then. Bodybuilding is about muscle. What? I mean, if you ask
I
me,
don't know.
that's just my opinion.
No, no, no. You entitled to your opinion. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm crazy about it, but I kind of understand. Why they want to put it there. I think just for people to accept bodybuilding. I mean, like more, for people to attend more shows. That's how I see it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think if you have to, it's a similar thing that's happening with a lot of not just bodybuilding, but we see this in video games or with Warhammer. Don't get me started. Sorry, it's a bit off topic, but it's the same thing. They're trying to oftentimes make it more accessible and get a larger audience. But you have to think, what is that thing and what was it made for? If you have to change the whole thing until it's not even the thing anymore for it to appeal to more people, then what are you even doing? Like, it's not, is it even still bodybuilding then? Like bodybuilding, they've always tried to make bodybuilding super mainstream, but maybe it's just, it might just not be super mainstreamable. Like, at least don't make bodybuilding something it's not. Or like, just for the sake of mass appeal, removing what makes bodybuilding, I don't think that's a good approach either. I hope that made
You
sense.
know,
I'm throwing a lot of words into sentences.
let me read some comments. You got all the rage George Page, hey
Hello,
people,
hello.
and you got he says you just were genetic predisposed to putting on more muscle.
Well, certainly up
And
top and my upper body for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, anyone can. Oh, hello. Thanks. Anyone can
motivation.
put on muscle. Like some people, yeah, some people have great genetics and it's gonna come easier to them. But even on the women's side, if you really want to, you can put on muscle. It's gonna be much harder than for the guys. But that's just how it
Yeah.
is.
Let me show a clip of you flexing a bit. Yeah, you look really nice on this video. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was the other day. I think it was last week. My hairdresser did my hair, and I got a little bit dressed up. Felt myself. So yeah, sometimes I do make myself look pretty. This is especially in the off season. It's nice when you have a little more chunk on you, and you look kind of more extra feminine, if that makes sense.
Nah, nah. Like when you first started bodybuilding, like your first show, like how many shows you been to so far?
Only two. I only did that one
Oh,
wellness
only two.
show and only that
Okay.
one women's physique show. Because after I've only been going to the gym for 6 years, and after I did wellness and switching to women's physique, obviously takes some time to grow the muscle that I needed to be good at women's physique. So that was a long off
Mm.
season. I think 2 years. It was yeah. So I think the first 2 years I coached myself. I was just training and trying to find a coach and just trying to build a decent foundation. And then I trained with Ilona for a while, competed in wellness, and then had that 2 year long off season, and then competed again in women's physique. And now I've had another 1 year off season, and now I'm gonna go again in October.
Okay. All right. Like what was your how well did you do like in when you was competing in women's physique?
I won actually. I was quite happy with the result.
Oh,
And I was a bit frustrated because I decided originally I wanted to do the pro qualifier afterwards, but I was considering because I really need more legs and really needed more ass. And I was like, well, I could do the pro qualifier, but depending on who shows up, like I wanted to be more confident in my physique. And then I decided not to do it. Um, also cost a lot of money. And I was like, you know what? I'll leave it for next time. And then, the pro qualifier happened, and the only people that showed up were the people I just beat in the other show. And I think and she wasn't really staged, and I was like, damn, if I would have gone, I would have a pro card right now. No. So I'll try again now. But this time I'm not gonna
no.
pussy out. I'm actually gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if
That's
I get
cool.
mocked, I get mocked. But yeah.
Did your family or friends were supporting you, or you didn't
My
have that
friends are, so
support?
I don't really have family like that. I came from foster care for the most part.
Um,
And but yeah, my friends are very supportive. I don't really have any detractors amongst the ranks. Yeah, like one of my close friends, sometimes he's a bit worried because he's like, "Oh, be careful with those PEDs." It's like, it's not healthy. And I'm like, I can't, like, I'm doing it with guidance and so on. But yeah, my friends are all supportive, and I am, yeah, blessed and lucky to have them.
yeah. Like other than the YouTube channel, like how do you educate people on bodybuilding that have like this misconception of it?
Well, so far just the YouTube channel. Like I said, I just started doing
Yeah.
that. But I have my Instagram that I usually share my bodybuilding journey on, but that doesn't really have much of an audience outside my friends, to be honest. But yeah, that's where I talk about bodybuilding. But really, I hope obviously to grow my YouTube channel and share more about female bodybuilding, what it's all about, and encourage maybe some people to join in on the fun, get into the gym, maybe fix their habits with food and whatnot, and just yeah, spread some positivity and all the gym love.
Yeah, yeah. I could play some of the clips of it. I didn't I was watching some of the steroid the episode where you talk about steroid usage and stuff. I didn't finish watching it, but I was watching like the dating bot you dating as a bodybuilder and
Oh yeah.
this one about the play a little bit.
Presentation. That being said, women were rather small back then by today's standards, but then again, you can also say the same for the men. The sport and the people participating in it certainly have gotten a lot bigger over the years. In the 80s, we got our very first Miss Olympia in the form of Rachel McLish. The competitors back then had been handpicked. By what criterion, you might ask? It wasn't by how big they were necessarily. They were picked by how well they could represent a fitness role model for the average American woman. Even then, there seems to have been some weird double standard. The words average and bodybuilding don't really fit well together in my mind. I seriously doubt any Mr. Olympia was ever chosen based on how relatable and inspiring they might be to the average American man. I think it never would have crossed anyone's mind to do something like that for the men. But I guess it would have been very much expected, especially in the beginning, since back then, gender stereotypes were a lot stronger and much wider spread. As time went on, it seemed as this would be an issue that could fix itself, as women began to grow themselves bigger and bigger as well. It's just fair that when men chase extreme size to be the biggest and best and get scored well for it by the judges, women should be able to do the same and be rewarded in the same way on stage. Or so one would think. In the year I was born, in 1992, the IFBB made an attempt to feminize the sport. At the Miss International competition, a woman who was 170 centimeters tall and weighed only 59 kilos was awarded the first prize. Meanwhile, another competitor was exactly the same height, but weighed in at 73 kilos. A lot of people at the time felt that the judge...
I probably should have added that in. But yeah, y'all can watch the rest of the video. Yeah. Yeah, that was well done, how you put that together. Yeah, like when you was born, like 92, that's when I started paying attention to bodybuilding, like with the women and stuff. So, I
It must
used
have
to
been
get the
cool though to be
magazines.
there.
Huh?
Like it must have been so cool to see the sport develop. Like I got in so late and so recently. When I look back at like what happened and stuff, that's history, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind
Yeah.
of
I
missed
mean,
out.
well, at the time, they it used to be on newsstands, and some of the bodybuilders, they used to be on talk shows and stuff. And, after a while, like in the 2000s, people kind of gave it this airy eye type, because they didn't really like how the women look, because the facial jawline, and some would say that they looked like men. I remember a bodybuilder that, I was talking to weeks ago. She left because it was a lot of drug usage, and she didn't want to look like a man and stuff. And so she just kind of packed up. So,
I mean, that does make
yeah.
sense. After all, like virilization is very real. And if you want to compete at the highest level in as an enhanced athlete in an untested federation, then obviously you're not going to get around using probably a decent amount of gear. And people react differently. Obviously, you can't choose the side effects. There are some women who still look very feminine, who got very lucky with how their body reacted, and others that have a bit of a gigachad jawline and the man voice. I mean, my voice has also dropped since I started bodybuilding. But yeah, I mean, if there's still a place for people who don't want that in bodybuilding, like natural bodybuilding is still a thing. And I think that also deserves a lot more exposure than it's getting, because it's I mean, it's still bodybuilding, and it just means that you're not taking any gear. It's just a size cap for those people, because obviously your body has limits. But yeah, also, I mean, the thing also with the man face is a lot of people make this so, how do I say this? In a lot of YouTube videos about, oh yeah, women bodybuilder destroying themselves, they always take a picture of some woman on show day or before show day or somewhere in peak week, like with extreme skull face on top of everything. It's like my face right now looks completely different than when I'm in prep. Like you're gonna, you always choose the worst possible time. Um, yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's more clickable as well. But yeah, you do have, in prep you're not gonna have cheeks anymore. That's just how this is how it is. You're gonna look like a skull, whether you're a woman or a woman or a man. That's just so. I mean,
Yeah, I
a
understand.
lot of girls still enhanced girls that have some virilization. They still can still look pretty female, at least in the off season. But yeah, um, nonetheless,
Yeah,
virilization is real and it's valid. Valid. If people, you don't have to like it, you know. But still, let us participate in the sport. Don't remove the categories from the show, please.
yeah, yeah. I've attended a few bodybuilding shows. You know, I started like maybe what like 2 years ago. I was at the New York Pro, and I went to a couple of natural bodybuilding shows. So just to understand the experience of it, it wasn't too bad. You know, yeah. In your first show, like how were like what was it like competing against other people? Like how many people were on stage with you?
The first show that well, on the show, there were only, I think there were only 4 or 5 people or something like that. There were hundreds of girls backstage, but they were, I think, like
Mm.
90% of the girls showed up, they were bikini. So it was just me and like a handful of other girls. And one girl, she has amazing genetics for wellness. Um, she's decided she doesn't want to take any more gear as well. So unfortunately, she's not, say unfortunately, but good for her, it's healthy. But she has like insane insertions. She's amazing genetics. Like her legs just like bubbly, you know, when people have this balloon animal look to to their glutes and their quads. And I saw her backstage and I was like, yeah, I'm coming in second. Which I did. But yeah, she had very amazing, just very beautiful. Yeah, and it was magical. It was really cool actually to, you know, after all these years, I've been constantly looking at like people competing and being backstage and stuff, and then it was so surreal to finally be there myself. And like, yes, now it's my time to step on stage. So yeah, love it.
Would you so like major so would you want to plan on moving to the States and compete, or you just focusing on where you're at in Europe?
Well, I mean, I'm not like I can't really like just hop around like that, but I mean, for I
Mm.
want to see how far I can take it. Obviously, like my ultimate goal is I want to win a pro card and build a physique that can be competitive at the pro level. Like I am just so inspired when I look online and I see like the small but mighty girl, and it looks surreal. But to know that that's possible, that you can like something like that can be achieved. Maybe not by me, or maybe it can. I won't know until I give it 100% and put the work in over the years, right? But it's just I just love bodybuilding and creating art. Like it's like you're forging your body into the most advanced extreme version of itself. And it's just so beautiful. So yeah, I would love to compete in the States down the line as well. But I think it only makes sense when I'm like confident, yeah, I can compete at a pro level now. I can be competitive, and then I would absolutely love to come to the States and compete over there as well. And yeah, just I just want to see how far I can take it, how far I can build my physique, and I'm very excited to find out if I have what it takes to make that happen, to actually build a physique that can be competitive at a pro level. But yeah, it's one of those things you won't know until you try 120%. And I
Yeah,
still feel like I'm kind of at the beginning of my journey. So I know what my goals
yeah.
are, but I don't know if I can achieve them. We will see.
You sound like you're more of an artist than an athlete when you say building up the body. You know, how do
I mean,
you
that
look
is
at
bodybuilding by
bodybuilding?
nature. Bodybuilding is like the only sport that doesn't require any athletic ability. So to me, it is almost more of an artistic endeavor. I mean, it's yeah, you go to the gym and you put the work in, but even that is like it's not like you're moving weight. You're not a weightlifter. Even that is like you're trying to you're lifting differently than a power lifter, let's say, right? And it's just this process of creation, like through your suffering, through your consistency, through all of this, and your it's like especially in prep, it feels like I always thought when I was obese, I saw this on top of books and stuff, that iconic picture of this guy who's like with this I don't know what it's called, but it's like digging himself out. And in the prep, it does feel like that. It's like you've worked and built this thing, and now you get to dig it out, and that's what it feels like. Especially when it comes to the leg, that really feels like digging. But then like because that's all most women hold their fat till the end. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it is very artistic in a way, especially when it comes to posing. I mean, that is also an art form. So yeah, bodybuilding is yeah probably more of an art form than even a sport, to be honest. You're not there. That's the more I think
Yeah,
about it, the more it makes sense.
I usually look at it as a discipline,
Yeah,
than a sport a bit,
yeah, it is.
or
It's a
a
lifestyle,
lot.
basically.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lifestyle of it, because everybody can't do it. It's a mental thing. Just
I
dealing
believe
with thought.
everybody can do it. I just don't think everyone wants to do it. But that's the beauty of it. Like anyone can bodybuild. It's just not everybody wants to bodybuild, but anyone can.
That's about
That's what I like
everything,
about it.
really,
There's no
don't you
talent.
think?
Huh?
Yeah, I said that's about everything, don't you think?
Yeah,
Like,
this is
you,
true. But the thing with bodybuilding is it doesn't need any talent. There's only like your genetics will decide how far you can take it. But to build a physique to be competitive at least at a local level, I believe anyone can do that. Like even if
mm,
you have pretty crappy genetics, you can still build yourself a decent physique if you really want to. There's nothing holding you back. So there's no talent because like if it's a sport, like you do need some talent and some actual skill or something. But like bodybuilding, again, especially if you have a good coach, you don't need to know anything, you don't need any skills. It's just pure mental power. It's like it's about the virtues, your discipline, your willingness to suffer, all that stuff. It's just that's what I find it so beautiful. It's really like it doesn't discriminate at all. Like we're
yeah,
all equal in the body in the eyes of the bodybuilding gods.
yeah.
Except the genetic thing, which if you want to play at a high level, that really does make a difference. But besides that, it's like, yeah,
What
it's
about the financial
the
part of it,
oh yeah,
for you?
okay, that's the truth. This is the truth. And it reminds me of Warhammer again. It's like Warhammer is for everyone unless you're poor. Yeah, bodybuilding is very. I was thinking about that earlier because I was filming my vlog and I thought I was complaining about the price of blueberries because they didn't have the frozen one. I had to buy. Then I'm like, I feel so stupid complaining about something like that because being able to bodybuild is such a privileged position because it's not a cheap endeavor at all. So I can be here complaining, oh yeah, I live paycheck to paycheck, this and that. But why do I live paycheck to paycheck? Because I spend like so much money on bodybuilding. It's a pretty privileged position to be in, to have the ability to spend that much money on food, to buy all the extra stuff, to buy the EAAs, the pre-workouts, all that stuff. Because technically, like you can live without that, but I am choosing to do all of that stuff, right? And it's like it's a very privileged position. So yeah, technically anyone can bodybuild, and you can bodybuild with less as well. But yeah, ultimately, if you want a competitive bodybuild, that is very expensive. It's an expensive thing to do, unfortunately, but especially in this economy. But that's how it is.
Is this the only sport that you have done, or you done other sports?
So as a child and young teenager, I used to figure skate and I did some martial arts. So that's from
No.
sport wise. Oh yeah, we used to love like breakdancing and free running when I was a lot younger. But after that, no, because then I kind of got obese, and then I just the only sports I was doing were esports.
No.
So just again, also not a sport, but just yeah, I think grinding out top 500 in Overwatch is pretty cool, but it doesn't really help your physique.
No. What made you get? I don't know. I'll get too personal, but what made you get the obese, like overweight?
So it's like I made a video about that recently actually because I was thinking about the same thing because I was watching my 600-pound life and everyone has this like some trigger event, something weird, and I was like, what did anything happen to me? And then it hit me. It actually did. There was, I mean, I had kind of a I don't want to like be like a sob story or something, but I did have like I grew up in a hoarder home, and then I was removed from that into foster care. And it was just like a lot of bad stuff happening, bullying at school, whatever. And the thing that sent me over the edge to the point that I started abusing food as a coping mechanism was a guy that was stalking me. There was this dude from the trading card game store where I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh at that started stalking me for a while, not like super long, but that was kind of scary. And I remember then I kind of became even more reclusive, and I'm even more into just trying to stay at home playing my video games, ignoring the repeated phone calls and him coming to the house and everything. And I would just get into food, and that just kind of escalated. And before you know it, you get pretty big. And then they had a thing at school where they were like where they what's it called, like a study or something. They had all the children and measured all their fitness stuff, and they weighed us as well. And that's where I found out I was obese because they told me. I was like, oh no, that's not good. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, it was at one point, when I was a teenager, I was overweight. I was like 215 pounds. And I lost the weight because I was playing basketball. Yeah, I
That's a
just
good way to use
like slowly.
basketball.
Yeah. I was taking like a lot of medical. I don't want to go deep, but medical medication and stuff. And I had to stay in the house at one point, and I was in a boys' home, and they told me I had to stay in the house a lot of times, and then for some reason I wasn't listening to them, and I just would go to the park and play basketball, like shoot around and stuff. I wasn't good, but I just kind of had that desire to just wanting to play. So
That's
that's
so
my
wholesome, though. I- That's nice. Good on you. I'm just thinking, why wouldn't they let you play basketball?
Nah, I don't know. Well, they didn't want me to be out. They didn't want me at the time. I had some medical issues and stuff, and so, you know, I was acting
Well,
up back in the day. So yeah,
but it seems to have been a good thing then. At least you got out and you did some cardio, so to speak. That's always usually a good
yeah,
thing for health.
that's
So
that's when
kind of
I
how it works.
started. To taking I started working out in consideration. Just exercising. I still had a long way to go, but yeah, that would help. That's what helped me, at that time. So yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, that happened for you, though. But at least you improved on yourself, worked
Yeah.
on yourself. Yeah,
I mean, stuff happens, you know. Like, there are definitely a lot of worse things that could happen to you. But yeah, ultimately, I did lose the weight, and then I was just for a long time not obese anymore, but just kind of overweight, and I didn't have the best habits. And then obviously, like I had a whole phase where I had a really bad unhealthy lifestyle, and that's when it came to a head. And I was like, I literally cannot continue living like this. I will not make it. It's like this whole live fast, die young attitude only gets you so far, and eventually you have to decide if you actually want to die young or if you're like gonna get your shit together because yeah, the party lifestyle is not meant to last. It's fun while it lasts, but yeah, you can only take that so far. So yeah, I'm glad
yeah.
I found like you found basketball as your passion and something that could help you get your health into better place.